Awesome.
Awesome, yeah.
Awesome.
Okay. Hi, Cassandra and Austin. Not everyone who rises early knows the morning dew. Hi, Colin. We feel like Russell Crowe in Gladiator. Hi, Cassandra and Austin. By the light of the moon, we wondered about each other's temperaments. Hi, Colin. I don't know how we got on this topic. We were talking about dog food. Hi, Cassandra and Austin. But we started to wonder about each other's temperaments by the light of the moon across Torbay. Hi, Colin. When writing poems, head first, do your hind ankles rotate so that your claws grip backwards into the bark of language? Hi, Cassandra and Austin. There's a German proverb, the morning hour has gold in its mouth. Hi, Colin. The early bird catches the norm. Hi, Cassandra and Austin. When writing poems, my tail is prehensile and can be used like a limb to fall asleep mid-line. Hi, Colin. When writing poems, in spite of being arboreal, because of your size, you often need to descend to the ground in order to move between stanzas or lines. You're not a leaper like other poets. Hi, Cassandra and Austin. My phreatic tubes are all blocked up. Hi, Colin. You smell faintly of Rice Krispies when used as a crunchy topping for dauphinoise potatoes or ambrosia rice pudding or cauliflower cheese. Hi, Cassandra and Austin. Have you ever used Klarna or Zilch? Hi, Colin. I'm CCing you in. I hope you don't mind. Hi, Cassandra and Austin. Are you a strangler fig? Hi, Colin. It's just that Zilch doesn't... Sorry. Hi, Cassandra and Austin. It's just that Zilch doesn't have late fees. Klarna does. But Klarna doesn't have upfront fees, and Zilch does. Do you understand the difference? Hi, Colin. I'm crepuscular and nocturnal, and on nights when the moon is full and bright, I'm more easily detected. Hi, Cassandra and Austin. I sometimes buy coffee and acai bowls from Black Sheep Coffee, whose slogan, confusingly, is Leave the Herd Behind. Hi, Colin. I once tasted Volvic Black Cherry sugar-free from a Shell garage. Hi, Cassandra and Austin. They should continue with the tour even though our poem isn't over. Hi, Colin. They should walk along to the next reader while we're still talking. Hi, Cassandra and Austin. They won't do that. Hi, Colin. Why not? It would be better if they did. Hi, Cassandra and Austin. I'm not saying you're wrong. It's just because convention dictates that they wait for us to finish and then clap and awkwardly smile. Hi, Colin. Yeah, I get it. I just wish. Hi, Cassandra and Austin, that the poem could keep going in a parallel enclosure indefinitely. Hi, Colin, to wait for better conditions for the poem to end like a delayed pregnancy. Hi, Cassandra and Austin, so our poem. Hi, Colin, sorry for interrupting. Hi, Cassandra and Austin, that's okay. Hi, Colin, so our poem. Hi, Cassandra and Austin, yes, I get it, we have to put a cap on it, so it's a thing. Hi, Colin, I'm not going to pretend to be jazzed about it. Hi, Cassandra and Austin, just take their applause. Hi, Colin, short for applesauce. Hi, Cassandra and Austin, with grace.
Hey! Fantastic. To the Margay.
This is Paul and Little Lady. They are a breeding pair, one of the very few breeding pairs of them here in the UK in zoos. And they're quite chatty, so there is a possibility they might have a chat along during this. So that's them interceding us.
No, that's actually, so we've actually discussed this already. So I was really nervous about performing with Paul and Little Lady, because obviously you're much more familiar with their work than my work. And like, especially, you know, Paul had his early period of like amazing performance work, which we all know with the kind of Chuckle Brothers focused work with Barry. But this new collaboration that Paul and Little Lady have put together, yeah, I was kind of nervous about performing with them. So what we decided to do is I'm not going to say very much. I'm going to put it over to Paul and Little Lady, who are going to perform a couple of poems. And then after that, I'm just going to reflect a little bit on yeah, what they've done. So over to you, Paul and Little Lady, whenever you're ready. Thank you so much. That was so beautiful. Like I really thought that was amazing. Like I feel like the rhythms of those poems, they're like sort of spreading slightly too cold butter on toast. Like it just like you get this little burst, and then it kind of holds the space before you can then spread it out further. But yeah, anyway, I don't really have anything more to say other than it's been such a pleasure performing with you, and I hope we can do this again. Thank you so much, Paul and Little Lady.
What a trio!
Really quite small.
Okay, this is going to be a very short excerpt from my film script that I'm currently writing for Gecko J. Fowler, which I'm pitching to Netflix next week. Exterior, a zoological park in Shaldon, Devon. Night. Under a pale moon, the sign for frog trembles in the breeze. From inside comes a strange churring howl, part gecko, part wolf. Were-gecko, a chilling gecko chirp echoing. Camera pans to a glass terrarium labelled yellow-headed day gecko. It has 1 or 2 geckos in it. They freeze, tongues flickering. Were-gecko, voiceover, heavy breathing, circling. The geckos scramble as a massive shadow sneaks across the wall. Interior, zoo visitor centre shop, night. Stephen sips cocoa holding his phone out in front of him. Ambient zoo noises filter in, a distant gecko chirp. Stephen talks into his phone. Yeah, I'm here now. As writer-in-residence, I get to spend 2 nights a year in the zoo writing poems. Wait, Colin, hold on a second. Did you hear that? Something's up with the geckos. Colin, sure, go on and check them. Give them some mealworms. I'll work on my Ed Dorn collected poems project. Exterior, terrarium window, night. Were-gecko's point of view. Through red-tinted eyes, we track Steve's movement past enclosures. The door swings open. Were-gecko, voiceover, gurgled, rasping. Inside, the geckos are gone, only the humid lamps flicker. Steve, here, here, little ones. Here, gecko, 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 you can't have gone far. Suddenly, the giant were-gecko looms in the doorway 3 times a normal gecko. In fact, let's say 70 times a normal gecko. Red-eyed, claws clicking. Were-gecko, shrieking chirp. Interior visitor centre, night. Screen shows a promo for Kemp's Cavern in Torquay. Steve re-enters, his eyes now glinting reptilian. Colin, everything okay out there? Steve chirps softly, cuts to his shoes splitting, little scaly feet emerging. The chill sneaks in.
Haunting.
What was amazing during that? There was a gecko here that was up here, and in your final bit started to just walk down as if it was going to sit on your shoulder.
Amazing. And next, Ellen Wiles.